This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Hey there, listeners. Welcome to Shit That Goes On to Our Heads, the podcast where we normalize conversations around mental health.
That's right. I'm Dirty Skittles, and alongside my amazing co-host, Rex, we are here to share stories and tips from our incredible guests.
Each episode, we deep dive into struggles and triumphs of mental health, offering practical advice and heartfelt support.
Because no one should feel alone in their journey. Join us as we break the stigma and build a community of understanding and compassion.
Tune in and let's start talking about the shit that goes on in our heads. Three, two, one. Welcome back to another episode of Shit That Goes On Our Heads. I'm here today with my amazing co-host, Dirty Skittles, and our awesome guest, Andrea. Welcome, Andrea.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Where are you based out of?
I'm in Germany. I'm in Munich, Germany. Yeah.
What brought you to Germany?
Kind of a long story. I was living in China beforehand, and my ex was German, and I wanted to do my master's here in Germany. So I moved here 12 years ago, and I stayed.
Wow. 12 years. Do you miss the States at all?
So I'm originally from Minnesota. Like, I love being from Minnesota, but like, I don't really felt like I fit there, like in a long-term context. So like, I left when I was 20, went to live in Mexico, lived in the UK, went to live in Italy and Argentina. And I just kind of kept exploring. And I love many aspects of the US. Like, I love when I go back, like everybody's so friendly and like, but I love living in Europe. I kind of always wanted to live here. Like, I don't know, it's safe and historical and it's beautiful. And I love nature. So being by the mountains in Munich is amazing. Definite plus.
I mean, it sounds amazing. I'm like envisioning what it looks like. I'm like, oh, that sounds wonderful. Was it hard, like adjusting to living there for 12 years?
Germany, in some ways, weirdly, it was like harder to adjust than China. Like China, like you kind of expect it to be a completely different culture. But in Germany, it's more subtle things that you're like, I mean, I love living in Germany. Sometimes you're just like, okay, I don't understand why it would be done like that. Like just some of the bureaucratic things that you're like, there's no reason to make it that complicated. I just need to like register for my apartment or something like that. And once you get into getting visas and stuff like that, I mean, ooh.
Nice.
It's fun.
Nice. So what work do you do in Germany?
So I'm an EFT empowerment coach. So I've been here for 12 years. I got my master's. So I've worked mostly like in the fields of marketing and communications. My background is originally in journalism. So when I was living in China, I was working for the state radio as a reporter, a local reporter. And then I got laid off during COVID. Like we had 3 lockdowns here. And so like a lot of people, unfortunately, it's not like a unique story in that sense, but a lot of people lost their jobs. I was one of them. And I had always wanted to, like, I'm kind of a natural motivator. Like, I'm not the leader that's taking over the project. I'm the person who's like, yeah, we should do this. Yeah, you should do that. You're great at that. Like, I'm a very motivating person. And I wanted to get into coaching because I've done so much of my own personal growth and gone to different seminars and part of these different healing communities. And it seemed like a really good step for me, but like I already had a job. And so it just didn't make any sense to make any big changes. And I liked my job. I loved my colleagues. But when I got laid off, it kind of I mean, I was obviously super depressed about it at first because I was like, oh, great. Like we're in the middle of a pandemic and now like I don't have a job. Like,
Right.
like this feels really stable. And so instead I was like, well, what can I do with the situation? And it kind of just felt that I had this open space where I could do whatever I wanted to with it, like with my future. And I was like, my tendency would normally be to just throw myself into applying for jobs. And I was like, no, why don't I actually try to do what I wanted to do anyway? Like maybe this is actually an opportunity. So I signed up for Animus UK. Like it was a program from London. And because of lockdown, it was online. so like, I mean, the whole time I was able to still do all of my practice sessions and everything like that. And I don't know if you want me to talk about EFT, but as I was doing the coaching, I kept recognizing like, oh, I know that EFT tapping would solve this like immediately, or this would really help to reframe. And I wasn't certified in it. So I decided, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well combine EFT tapping and coaching. So I went ahead and got certified in that. And that's really what's become the basis of my coaching. It's the transformational coaching and the EFT tapping.
Why do you think EFT tapping helps so much? Like, why was that the solution you thought of?
Because EFT tapping is first of all, it's a mind-body technique. If anybody is not familiar with it, you tap on acupuncture points on your face, which sounds really weird. I know, like I was like, that is just bonkers. Like, how is tapping on my face going to help me calm down? Like, but I found it actually like when I was doing my master's program, and I have a lot of energy, and so if that energy is not channeled in an appropriate way, it can really turn into anxiety and stress. And couldn't eat, sleep. I couldn't do anything. And when people are like, "Oh, you should just sit down and meditate," and I'm like, I can't turn my brain off. So that's how like I ended up finding it by a Brad Yates video, and it was called Fear and Panic Right Now. By the way, anybody listening, please, if you're seriously anxious and stressed and you can't calm down, go check this video on YouTube. It's free. Anyway, and so like I started feeling better. And so after that's just kind of become a part of my life because I realized how many different things that I could use it for, in addition to just stress release, which is a huge component, but it's also good for fears and anxiety and things that are associated with our emotional health and well-being and confidence and resilience.
Isn't that
Have you?
Answer.
I was just going to ask, isn't EFT tapping the same thing that Pink does a lot of EFT tapping also?
Does she? I don't know. I don't keep up quite so much with what celebrities are doing. But I know that there are a lot of celebrities though who do have done it, and it's become a little bit more mainstream now, even though 10 years ago it was like, what is that? Like, and now it's a little bit more common.
Yeah. Have you always had like an anxious or a lot of energy, even growing up, like a younger version of yourself?
I don't think so. I don't remember being like that. And it wasn't kind of until, I mean, when you live abroad, the thing is that like, it's not perfect. There's wonderful aspects, but as things would happen in my life, it created this anxiety because then it's just like, well, what if this happens again? And you're kind of projecting the fear of, well, this happened this one time. So I think, honestly, being in China, being so far away from my family, and when things would happen and you're like, I'm alone in China and I just lost my job. Or like, I don't know how I'm going to live here. Like, it's just that kind of situation that I think it created an anxiety. And also just, I think they say that as your hormones kind of get a little bit older, your hormones also contribute to this anxiety, which is really fun. And so I think that's kind of what happened. And so I had to learn more how to manage my emotions and manage my stress levels. Also because, I mean, I couldn't sleep. It gave me all of these like insomnia issues, and I wanted to know how to recalibrate, how to get myself to go to sleep, how to wake myself up in the morning and feel motivated, how to deal with every kind of situation under the sun that happened. Like, and so for me, I found it really transformed my life, like in terms of what I've been able to do, accomplish.
That's crazy. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, I've never tried it. Have you tried it, J-Rex?
I have. And I actually had to use it the other day. I was on a call with a customer who kind of didn't know how to use a computer. So I had to come off a camera and just did some tapping exercises just so I could recenter. It caught me so off guard because I'm so used to people being able to use a computer and understand the ins and outs of how to use Teams and things like that, that when it happened, I was like, well, number one, I got to come off camera because you can't hide an eye roll no matter how hard you try. It just doesn't work. And then after I did that, I felt better, right? Because then I recentered myself. I came back to the conversation. I was able to wrap it up. But I find it very helpful. It's one of the things I use with like my tool. It's in my toolbox.
That's amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. I don't often hear that from people like on podcasts that they've actually heard of it and also that they use it.
I'm probably in the majority. I'm like, what is it? Can I do it on myself? Like, how can I use this in my day? Because she knows the job I have. It is very stressful. So yeah, I'm down for tools and
it's
cool
a fun job. Just all I'm going to say. It's like the best job ever.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Need new glasses or want a fresh new style? Warby Parker has you covered. Glasses start at just $95, including anti-reflective, scratch-resistant prescription lenses that block 100% of UV rays. Every frame's designed in-house with a huge selection of styles for every face shape. And with Warby Parker's free home try-on program, you can order 5 pairs to try at home for free. Shipping is free both ways, too. Go to warbyparker.com/covered to try 5 pairs of frames at home for free. warbyparker.com/covered.
HBCUs, they're more than just schools, right? They're where we learn, grow, and build. It's a place where we're free to be ourselves, innovate, and live our best lives while chasing those dreams, and yes, securing that bag. But the journey to success is not always easy. That's why Walmart is here for you every step of the way. From late night study sessions to game day celebration, Walmart's got your back, helping you manifest those big, audacious dreams. Whether you're starting a business, climbing the career ladder, or figuring it all out, Walmart is here supporting Black excellence at HBCUs. At the end of the day, your hustle, your creativity, and your journey matter. Walmart, we're all about empowering you with the spark to keep pushing forward. So let's get to it together. Learn more about how we are amplifying your story at walmart.com/Black and Unlimited. It's your journey and we're proud to be a part of it.
I have a random question. When you were moving and you were in China and now where you're at now, was that how do I say this? Was that the job you had at the time or did you start this there? Because what I'm trying to imagine is like, how hard would that be to do in the States? Because I don't know how much people know about it. But if you're abroad, is it harder to get into that industry or easier?
Well, so like up until very recently, I mean, like now I have like an office space that I share so I can actually do in-person sessions, but all of my stuff has been virtual. It's been on Zoom because I mean, I started, which was like actually kind of a benefit of lockdown is that everything was available on Zoom. And so I could have clients that were in Canada or in the US or in the UK and it didn't really matter. So, I mean, it's been totally fine because like I have a international job. And up until recently, like I haven't had, like I said, even a place in Munich where I could offer in-person sessions. And now I'm finally going to be able to do that.
That's really cool. That's really cool. How do your friends and family feel about it? Are they like all for it as well? Like, are they using this technique now? Or are they like, I have no idea what that is?
My mom and my dad. So my dad's a doctor and my dad is like not totally on board with this. I mean, he supports me like having my business as a coach and helping people and stuff like that. And my sister actually does really support it because I've used it with her. There were things that like she was super stressed. She works in healthcare and she works a lot of hours, and people that work in healthcare, like she's a PA, and yeah, it's like the shifts are just crazy. And the amount of stuff in the ER that can happen in an 18 hours is just insane. And so a lot of times, I mean, something would happen and she would, I mean, it's like you clock out, but you still have all of the emotional stuff of everything that you just saw. And sometimes it was really intense stuff. And so I've done EFT with her, and it's amazing because you can go from like completely frazzled or crying or just hysterical, and it will quickly bring you back down, ground you, recalibrate you so that you have that base point again. And after that, she's out, like she likes it, so she supports it. But she also kind of at the beginning, I shouldn't say this, but I don't think that she took it very seriously until she actually experienced it, and then she felt better.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, right? Like take the tool and use it, and why not? Makes sense.
Exactly. And it does work. I mean, you're talking to a boomer, right? That does it. And because I do get anxious, right? And I do need to recenter myself during the day. Now that we're all like doing Zoom meetings and everything, sometimes I do have to come off camera and find some way to bring myself back to center. And so I think it's like a really good tool. And then if we could get more people to understand like why we would want to use it and like what are the benefits, it might be something that they want to look into, because we've said this time and time again, there's more than one type of therapy, right? Like talk therapy doesn't always help, but there's all these other types of therapies out there that if you just take the time to like learn about them and maybe try them, it may help that like your anxiety or your stress or just trying to like center yourself again. Because for me, it was huge. I was able to finish the conversation without getting completely flustered, because prior to me doing that, I was like I said, you can't hide an eye roll on a camera. You just can't.
Yeah.
How would you? Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I do even have clients who are in therapy, and then they come to me for, how do I say it? Like, because sometimes when you're in talk therapy, you're talking about things that do have an emotional response, and your nervous system can still get activated. And I mean, I know myself, I mean, this happened to me years ago in therapy. Like I would come out of the session and then I would be completely like distraught. I would be distraught. Right. I would be angry. I would be sad, because it would be like dealing with something that was a childhood trauma. And then it's like, okay, talk to you next week. And I'll just be like, like, you're just going to leave me like this? Like, what am I supposed to do? And so for a lot of my clients, like if they're in therapy, they use the therapy for the clarity, for the understanding, for that side of the mental health, that aspect of mental health. But then for the emotional response in the body following this, a lot of times it's very helpful for them to be able to calm down. And the other thing is like, I mean, you can use EFT, I would say like two main ways. So the first is kind of like DIY, like you have the tapping solution app, or you have like YouTube videos or whatever. And that's really good for surface level emotions. Like if you just get distracted or angry or stressed and you just kind of need to bring yourself down. But then the other one is for deeper issues that might be provoking those feelings of anxiety and stress. So the example that I always give is like, so let's say like when you're 8 years old and you have to get up in front of the class, read your paper, and your teacher, excuse me, like criticizes you, totally belittles you in front of everybody. The class laughs. You feel humiliated, embarrassed. You learn in that moment, it's not safe to be seen. It's not safe to be heard. When I try to bring attention to myself, I get shut down. And so even though, let's say maybe like 20 years pass, 30 years, and then for work, maybe you have to go give a client presentation and your body is gripped with fear and your nervous system is in fight, flight, or freeze, because you have to go and put yourself in the spotlight again. Even though that happened like when you had like only a child's version of your emotional tools. And now as an adult, you obviously have way more knowledge, experience, everything, but your body doesn't know the difference. Right. And so those kind of situations can provoke the anxiety and stress. And so that's why when you are able to kind of heal the emotional charge around those situations, then you don't have these reoccurring themes that keep popping up that also affect like your confidence and your emotional health.
Yeah. Is it like something that, how would you recommend people start exploring that for themselves?
It depends on what their issue is. I mean, because like, for example, if you just need it for stress release, like you could totally do that by yourself. Like go get a YouTube video. The people that I recommend are always Brad Yates. I love Brad Yates. Like he's got thousands of videos, anything that you possibly want to do it on, whether it's self-love or just feeling good enough. The one that I love that I do every day, I have two of them. One is ask for no resistance, because it's just before you go into any situation where you have to have a discussion, or I just do it before I have any contact with the world, basically. It just kind of puts you in a positive, grounded place to kind of receive good things instead of expecting resistance from people and situations. And the other one is Amazing Day Quickie. It's 4 minutes and it's just like really positive affirmations, and you feel so good and prepared for the day going in. So that's like, if you just want to do it yourself, and then search all the stress relief videos. But if you have deeper work that you want to do in terms of what is causing your anxiety and stress, that's where you'd want to go to a practitioner, because a lot of times these come from different belief woundings that we have. Like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm too much. It's not safe to be seen. If I shine, people will try to judge me, criticize, put out my flame. And so those are the kind of things that you want to work on with a practitioner, because a lot of times those core beliefs, it's kind of like an onion bowl. Like you have to kind of peel back the layers. And because for each of these kind of core beliefs, we usually have a lot of experiences that we use to validate this core belief. And even though it's not helpful, we kind of can't always help it. Like, if we think that we're not good enough, and then any little thing that happens where somebody treats us bad, and your brain is, see, I knew it. Like, I'm not good enough. Otherwise, why would this happen? Instead of realizing that maybe somebody else is being a jerk to us because they're actually going through some shit and they're just projecting it all onto us, and we're just soaking it up, because if we didn't believe that, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Did you know when you shave, 1/3 of what you remove is skin? So if you shave it, Dove it with new Dove Advanced Care Antiperspirant Dry Spray. New Pro-Ceramide technology helps repair skin's natural barrier after shaving for soft, smooth underarms. The ultimate post-shave care with 72-hour sweat and odor protection. Try new Dove Advanced Care Antiperspirant Dry Spray from the #1 dermatologist recommended brand for everyday underarm care. Learn more and find where to shop at Dove.com.
I'm General Manager Ethan Rosignol at Dark Horse Toyota in Silver Spring. Having trouble finding a car? Come to Dark Horse Toyota in Silver Spring. Dark Horse Toyota is the Central Atlantic region's #1 Toyota dealer year after year. We are here to help you with all your car buying needs. Take advantage of our large inventory and pricing. Come visit us at Dark Horse Toyota in Silver Spring or online at darkhorsetoyota.com.
HBCUs, they're more than just schools, right? They're where we learn, grow, and build. It's a place where we're free to be ourselves, innovate, and live our best lives while chasing those dreams, and yes, securing that bag. But the journey to success is not always easy. That's why Walmart is here for you every step of the way. From late night study sessions to game day celebration, Walmart's got your back, helping you manifest those big, audacious dreams. Whether you're starting a business, climbing the career ladder, or figuring it all out, Walmart is here supporting Black excellence at HBCUs. At the end of the day, your hustle, your creativity, and your journey matter. Walmart, we're all about empowering you with the spark to keep pushing forward. So let's get to it together. Learn more about how we are amplifying your story at walmart.com/Black and Unlimited. It's your journey, and we're proud to be a part of it.
So for like heavier, I guess, focus areas like that, where if it's trauma or like a deep rooted belief that we need to kind of untangle, what does like the session look like? Is it just, this is me knowing nothing about this, by the way, so I apologize if this is a dumb question, but does it just look like you're laying back, and is there like verbal affirmations happening, or like what does that look like to help tap into those?
So generally, like you would start the session with like discussing like what the person wants to work on, like whether it's something deeper, like usually it's connected to some situation that's happening right now in their life, but then kind of digging a little deeper to be like, okay, so when is the first time that you felt like this? Was this connected to any experience? Is this connected to something that somebody told you? Was somebody made an example of, and you learned like, okay, if I do that, I know what's going to happen. So need to keep myself safe. So once you have the discussion, you could decide on like, what is the theme that we're going to work on? You rate the intensity between like 0 to 10. Usually I start by kind of asking like, all right, what are the top 3 emotions around this situation? And so usually it's anger, sadness, frustration, whatever. See, you rate them beforehand, and then you go through all of the negative ideas, beliefs, and feelings that are associated with that. And it feels counterintuitive, because most of the time we tell ourselves like, I'm fine, I got this. And the brain is like, no, you don't. You liar, you absolutely don't. Like you're going around like, I don't need help, I'm totally fine, got this. And like your brain and your body are like, you're freaking fine. Like, and you're going to be stressed, you're going to be sweaty. Like, and so like, once you can kind of understand that, you can articulate those feelings and be like, you know what, I don't feel good enough. Like, I'm afraid they're going to criticize me. I'm afraid they're going to think I'm stupid. Like, I can't believe I'm fucking doing this. Like, they're going to criticize me. I don't think I could handle it. What would I do? And so once you've gotten all of these feelings out, you can kind of check again in the original rating. So let's say if it was like a 10, like, okay, did we get it to an 8 or a 7 or a 6? And some things, it's amazing because you could literally go from a 10 to 2 by just understanding which words that you need to incorporate into the tapping script. And so once you've cleared off the bad, then you can use positive affirmations and kind of do the reframing. Like, you know what? Like, they're not perfect. Like, I don't have to be perfect. Like, I could get up and give a speech and like, okay, so what if I don't do a good job? Like, so what if it's the 7 out of 10? Yeah. I still have other opportunities, but I can be proud of myself for doing it. And so that's very short summary of how it works usually.
No, I appreciate that, because I'm like, I needed that to get a little bit more of an understanding. And I feel like this, like a lot of other forms of therapy require like consistency, right? Like to go back and do it again. It's not just like one and done and everything is wonderful, right?
Yeah, because everything with mental health, there's not an easy button that we can press and just make everything make us feel better. We have to put the work in.
Yeah.
And I love tapping. It helps me. Like sometimes I tap before I go to sleep because I've been having problems sleeping. Yeah. It's been kind of a crazy couple of weeks. So.
Yeah.
You know where it comes from then. You're like, I know why I feel this way.
I know why I feel this way. I just need to like relax enough to go back to sleep.
All right. This is cool. I'm all for new tools and like learning new ways to kind of get through something, and even just to relieve like the anxiety or like the stress of like a day. I'm always looking for new stuff. What do you do personally to get through a particularly tough season or day?
So I have used EFT tapping for everything. I use it. I mean, from like one of the things that I'm working on at the moment is EFT for breakup book and an EFT for breakup.
Oh, of course.
Because a few years ago, so I hadn't used EFT for breakup because I didn't have a breakup. But then once I went through a breakup, I was like, I wonder if this would help. Like, because there were just so many feelings and like so many different themes that all kind of collided together. And it was terrible because it was like these reoccurring themes from childhood that I hadn't wanted to look at, but and like attachment style stuff. And it all came like and exploded basically. And so I started using it actually. And I have to say, like, that was one of the most transformative things about that breakup. I mean, it wasn't a good breakup, but I mean, but just being able to have that tool that when things would come up, because I was just a whirlwind of emotions, that I was able to work with it. And also like during that time, it was kind of cool because I actually found like a group of people that I can't remember which Facebook group, but I was like, hi, I'm like, this is a weird thing, but I'm like, I'm an EFT practitioner. I'm going through a breakup. So if you're going through a divorce breakup, any of the above, and you want to do some tapping, I'll do it for free because I haven't tried it for this. So I don't have any experience. And it was cool because we had like a little group of like 5 of us that would meet every week because especially like after a while, like your friends have really heard enough about it.
Right.
So like, it's better that you go and like find other people with similar experience to be able to kind of lean on each other. And since like I used it for that, and I was so grateful in that moment to be able to have that as a tool. It kind of got me thinking, it's like, you know what, I should try to do like a course or a book so that people can actually have this resource, because a lot of the women in my group, like people, you can be the most confident, ambitious person who's like out there winning at life. And then a breakup will just knock you on your ass.
Right.
And even the strongest person is like, wow, I'm completely out of control, flailing, heartbroken, angry 1 minute. And like, and if you don't have a tool, it can be really hard. And so, just having something on a daily basis or whenever something comes up, because you get an email or something and it just derails your whole day. Or you can tap and get yourself back to
or all of our friends G-Rex that got recently laid off. I feel like that also feels like a breakup because you're like, I just got dumped by my job.
Yeah, for sure.
That. Why didn't they appreciate me?
I didn't. Literally, right?
But sometimes you got to get it out, and with things like that, usually there's a lot of anger and resentment that's kind of lurking beneath the surface when we feel not appreciated or disrespected, and you've got to get it out. You've got to be as petty as you need to be to like, release.
Seriously, because if you don't, it's trapped in there, just waiting to explode at some other given point. Yeah.
You don't know when. That's the surprise.
Right, and you don't know what will cause it either. So.
And it might be something small, like you can't find your other sock.
Literally a ticking time bomb. The worst. Oh man. My husband, we're both guilty of this. In our kitchen, we have these drawer pulls that stick out like 2 inches. Like we need to change these fucking drawer pulls, but they always get you on a bad day. Like you've had the worst fucking day ever. You walk by it and it catches the belt loop on your pants and it just yokes you right back to reality and depression. That shit will get you. And then you'll blow up. Had I tapped, I wouldn't have been so upset about that drawer.
Exactly. That's the difference.
Just an example. Ticking time bomb from personal experience.
And it only happens when you're upset.
I know.
Otherwise.
There's always something small for sure. No, I appreciate you sharing this tool. I mean, it definitely has given me something to look into because, I'm down to try anything.
So I do have a question, Andrea. Does it work on kids? Like, is there a certain age where you can start from?
So I don't have kids myself, but I mean, like in the Tapping Solution app, they do have ones for children because especially they've done a lot of like, I can't remember exactly the names of the schools, but if you just like Google it, but they've used it in a lot of like elementary school because especially kids don't know how to emotionally regulate.
Right.
And so by giving them a tool, I mean, I do know people, for example, that were in my program that use it with their kids because like when their kids would get mad or whatever, and they're like, okay, it's fine. You can be mad, but just like, let's kind of tap through it and we'll get to a calmer spot. It's okay to be mad, but you have to work through those feelings so that you can get yourself to a calm place instead of not allowing the kid to have feelings and not allowing them to express themselves. Like, no, it's fine. You can be mad. You can be frustrated. You can be angry, sad, whatever. We're just going to tap through the emotions so that you can get to a more composed place.
It's a good question. I like that. Thanks, Drex.
Because I don't have any kids, and I do know that a number of our listeners and that you have kids, little nugget. And I was just thinking of different ways to help them deal with their emotional regulation because they're not equipped with the tools. And I'm going to say probably 85% of the population isn't equipped with the correct tools to help regulate their emotions. right? It's not until we have a massive mental breakdown or something else that we go and get the help. So I'm just trying to think of like different avenues for our listeners and even for you, Dirty Skittles, because I'm going to tell you, it works for me.
Yeah, I'm for sure going to give it a shot. I think it's even something I can try with Nugget because he likes meditating, actually. I have to tell him like, hey, let's sit down and try this. But he'll sit there and just like, he likes to be in the, like sometimes he likes to do it in the bubble bath. And he's like, I'm just going to sit here and relax, think about my day. And I'm like, okay, yeah, do that, bud. I'm like, I need to take a page out of his book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Adults, we need more.
I know.
Moments like that of just
exactly. I know. My husband teased me. He's like, if you would put that effort into your own like baths and bath time, like I'll do the bubbles. I get glow sticks and put it under the bubble so it glows. Dude, I go all in. I'm like lavender oil. And then I'm like, I'm going to go take a cold shower. I'll be right back. That's crazy. Anyhow, thank you so much for sharing this. I fear if I stay on this mic any longer, I'm just going to share all my personal stories.
So I could sit over here and judge secretly.
I know, right? I know.
Andrea, thank you so much. So are there any resources that you can like top 3 resources that you can give our listeners how they can find out more?
Sure. Well, first of all, like I have a free EFT book that like if they want to check it out and be like, okay, is there any science behind this? Because there is, by the way. But so like if people are like, I want to understand more about it, I have a free ebook. So I'll give you the link that people can just go ahead and download and they can learn a little bit more of like how they can use it for confidence or self-love or even like things like self-sabotage. And then also the emotional health component, like stress relief, burnout prevention, those kinds of things. And then, of course, I have my website is www.dreahunt.com. That's Treahunt. There's a movie star named Andrea Hunt, apparently, so she's got the domain.
How dare she?
So I'm Andrea Hunt. But I also have social media, so people can follow me on Instagram. I'm always living deliberately today. And so they can follow me. I have inspirational, motivational content and information about tapping. I have lots of blog articles if people want to know, like, okay, can I use it for this? Like, yeah, whatever they'd like. And they can also email me for any questions.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All of this. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It has been so wonderful to talk to you guys.
Yay, same. I loved hearing about this and learning about you and enjoy your weekend, right? What time is it where you're at, by the way?
9:20.
At night? At nighttime?
Yeah.
Oh my word. I would have been passed out.
6 hours ahead of you guys.
Oh my word. Oh my gosh, we gotta let you go. But no, I appreciate the time you took. Like this has been great and I'm really excited to try it out.
You should.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And if anybody wants to work with me, I do Zoom sessions as well. So they can always, doesn't matter where you are in the world.
That is so awesome. Yay. You. All right, guys. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, all. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I'm G-Rex.
And I'm Dirty Skittles.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. We'd love to listen to your feedback.
We can't do this without you guys.
It's okay to be not okay. Just make sure you're talking to someone.
This is the sound of your ride home with Dad after he caught you vaping. Awkward, isn't it? Most vapes contain seriously addictive levels of nicotine and disappointment. Know the real cost of vapes. Brought to you by the FDA.
I'm General Manager Ethan Rosignol at Dark Horse Toyota in Silver Spring. Having trouble finding a car? Come to Dark Horse Toyota in Silver Spring. Dark Horse Toyota is the Central Atlantic region's #1 Toyota dealer year after year. We are here to help you with all your car buying needs. Take advantage of our large inventory and pricing. Come visit us at Dark Horse Toyota in Silver Spring or online at darkhorsetoyota.com.
HBCUs, they're more than just schools, right? They're where we learn, grow, and build. It's a place where we're free to be ourselves, innovate, and live our best lives while chasing those dreams, and yes, securing that bag. But the journey to success is not always easy. That's why Walmart is here for you every step of the way. From late night study sessions to game day celebration, Walmart's got your back, helping you manifest those big, audacious dreams. Whether you're starting a business, climbing the career ladder, or figuring it all out, Walmart is here supporting Black excellence at HBCUs. At the end of the day, your hustle, your creativity, and your journey matter. Walmart, we're all about empowering you with the spark to keep pushing forward. So let's get to it together. Learn more about how we are amplifying your story at walmart.com/Black and Unlimited. It's your journey, and we're proud to be a part of it.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Crush your morning goals with a steak, egg, and cheese bagel or any breakfast sandwich and snag another one for just $1 with the buy one, get one deal. Only in the McDonald's app. Limited time only at participating McDonald's. Valid once per day. Must opt into rewards.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.